Hi everyone, in this tutorial we will see an overview of the workflow you can have when using Plasticity, Blender and Smart Weathering together to create your 3D model. We will see how to bridge these programs to use the live 3D editing capabilities that Plasticity offers, and how we can take advantage of this to get an instant texturing feedback while you're modeling using our Smart Weathering add-on. So let's say that we want to start texturing this space suite model that we made in Plasticity. What we will need to do is to enable the server option in the Plasticity options and install the add-on that Plasticity has to make this bridge possible. Once we do that, an end panel for Plasticity will appear, and we will need to use the connect and refresh buttons to show what we have done in Plasticity. Also, I will enable the live link option to later show you this key new feature that Plasticity offers. Now that both programs are linked, I now can start texturing the 3D model I made. And I started by creating a basic lighting and adding some very basic materials onto the different parts of the model. Nothing really fancy, just principal BSDFs to create the main white material, around 3 metals, the glass part, and some plastics as well. And now that we have these very basic materials, we can start boosting their realism using our Smart Weathering tools. The first thing I've done is to add the Smart Weathering node with our add-on utilities, and then start playing with the different effects. In this case, I started adding some worn on the main white material of the model. I added some bubbles onto it and played a little bit with the micro scratches as well. Then I started to add a little bit of smashiness, mainly some smashes and grunge, but not so many fingerprints. Then I disabled the smashes and started playing with the dirt effect, adding some dirt on the cavities, playing with values like density and spread, and the seed of the random hard dirt to get some dirt spots near the latches. I then retouched a little bit the soft and top dirt parameters, and the dirt effect was done. And to finish the weathering of this piece, I decided to add a dust layer on top of it with some variation on it that will not be so visible in this white part, but it will be a great addition for the other materials like the glass and the metal parts. So now that the different effects are done, I decided to enable all of them, copy and then paste them into the other materials. And now we can see a little before and after of how the different weathering effects that we created look in the different materials. And you can see that it was an extremely easy process where I just decided to play with some parameters, then copy and paste them on the different materials, and just that. Now, let's say that you forgot to add something to your model. With this workflow, you can go back to the Plasticity model you have and add that modeling detail that you forgot to add. And because we enabled using the live link option, you can see that every change I made in the Plasticity model is reflected on Blender. And as we used Smart Weathering to create the weathering effect, all of the work we have done will still be preserved, because this procedural solution relies on the object shape and not its UVs. So there is no need to re-export the model, re-import the model, unwrap it again, and retexture it. Nothing of all that. So you can have an incredibly smooth workflow between the modeling and texturing phase with this method. One thing to mention is that it is advised, however, to start doing this process of texturing once you got at least some rough shapes. If you don't do that, then the only thing that you will need to do is just reassign the material because you have created a new piece when you did a boolean or when you retouched some surfaces, but not a big deal at all. So to sum up, this is a workflow that will let you create your projects at basically light speed. You will be able to be modeling and getting texturing iterations along the way almost from the beginning of the project up to its end. And you can see how easily and almost magically was adding these weathering effects without the need to worry about importing settings, exporting, UVs, and losing all the work if any modeling changes are needed. So that's it for this tutorial. If you enjoyed it, you will be helping us a lot if you like, subscribe, and spread the word about the Smart Weathering project. See you in the next video. Saludos.